all see this grave. Drowning in the monotony, no escape today. But I need a haircut, break the static's hold. Newsy Nuggets, time it bites, the story is told. Say goodbye to boredom, headlines made of gold. Twisting.
Hey you guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and we have another crazy story for you, just all by its own self because what in the Walmart rapture? But apparently you can go vacay in North Korea, party like it's, well, 1495? North Korea just allowed tourists to visit for the first time in 5 years, and what they saw was shocking. A group of Western tourists were treated to a surreal performance of North Korean schoolchildren dancing and singing against a backdrop of animated ballistic missiles. Well, it reminds me of South Park Team America. Only, swear to God, Trey and Matt Stone, were you trying to tell us the future? During the first officially sanctioned trip to the Hermit Kingdom in 5 years, the unsettling choreographed display was just the tip of the weirdness iceberg for the handful of thrill-seeking adventurers from the UK, France, Germany, and Australia who made the 4-day trek to the Asian country's remote Ransong region last week. Now, one tourist revealed that the trip was so closely monitored by Kim Jong-un's repressive regime that he even asked permission to use the bathroom. Yeah, go to a country where you probably could end up like that guy who came back and couldn't breathe or speak on his own. Yeah, I'm not going there, but y'all choose your own adventure, but I'm gonna stay my behind in home. I am an inside cat, and I'm not gonna get in any trouble with the North Koreans. So, I guess it's the rule of the dice, and I'm not rolling the dice anywhere near North Korea. They've had 5 years to fix things. North Koreans are so sensitive about what they show tourists. If this is the best they can do, I dread to think what else is out there, another visitor remarked. Well, she's not going to go back. Also, watch your back, lady. Look, they tend to just, light disrespect, even discontent, is not treated very well in North Korea. I wouldn't put anything but a 5-star Yelp review. But I'm, an insidian who looks at things and notices fact patterns, and that's why I don't go to North Korea. It was the first time since 2020 that tourists were allowed to enter. The notoriously secretive nation locked itself down at the start of the panorama, the COOF, leaving many to wonder whether Westerners would ever again be able to cross into its border. Well, if you're going to see kabuki theater, then why go at all? But there you go. But Young Pioneer Tours, a company that facilitates trips into the country, was finally able to resume operations after being thwarted for the last half-decade. The North Koreans aren't robots. They have opinions, goals, and a sense of humor. And in our briefing, we encourage people to listen and understand them. Rowan Beard, who runs the company, told the BBC. Well, let's see. You're propping up a dictatorship that abuses its country to show Westerners a kabuki theater of how they're not abusing their country. Do you have a white cat? Do you pet it like this? Are you secretly Dr. Evil? Then again, if people are willing to pay prices to go to a place where they could get locked up for, I don't know, looking at a poster, it's on them. But it was no ordinary vacation, with no cell phone or internet service and not so much as an ATM available for use. The tourists were also given a strict set of guidelines to follow, including don't insult the country's leaders, don't mock North Korea's ideology, and don't be judgmental of their unusual repressive way of life. So don't notice patterns. This would be, most college students should go here, noticing no patterns, saying nothing about evil right in front of us. How is this a vacation anyone wants to go on? I don't know. You're terrified for your life. You don't want to say the wrong thing. You don't want to end up in an iron lung. But sure, let's go there, vacay. Why not? They were also followed closely and watched at all times by the country's ever-present minders, who made sure that the visitors didn't run afoul of any restrictions or stray from the itinerary. A couple of times I even had to let them know when I wanted to use the restroom. Mike O'Kennedy, 28, a British YouTuber, told the outlet, "I never had to do that anywhere else in the world." The group entered the country through China on their trip to Ransoon in the far northeast, more than 500 miles away from the capital city of Pyongyang, which once welcomed occasional tourism groups, albeit under strict supervision and with no real freedom of movement. As in previous North Korean sojourns, the travelers were closely controlled, including prearranged visits to locations like a beer factory, a newly built and well-stocked pharmacy, and a school. A group of 8-year-olds put on a show for the visiting Westerners, gleefully singing as a large projection screen showed dozens of ballistic missiles being launched before striking buildings in an unidentified animated metropolis in a giant explosion. You know what we doing, kids? I mean, look, my kids watch Simpsons. It's just not state-sponsored interballistic, missiles being shown on the back screen as they're singing, Kumbaya. But I think more people would go to school assemblies if they had this. Now, North Korea carefully curates its image outside the world with official photographs released by the dynastic Kim family, which has ruled the country with an iron fist since 1948. The photos show glinting, thriving cityscapes that some of the visitors noted were vastly different in reality. The roads were awful, the pavement was wobbly, and the buildings were weirdly constructed, said Joe Smith, a former writer for NK News that has been in the country three times, noting the dilapidated hotel's outdated decor reminded him of his grandma's living room. And he was never seen again. Now, O'Kennedy said despite his best efforts to toe the line, his Western sensibilities led to at least one iffy moment. During a visit to North Korea and a Russian friendship house, he was presented with a visitor book to sign. I went blank and wrote something like, "I wish world peace." Afterwards, my guide told me that was an inappropriate thing to write, and it made me paranoid. Again, not going to a country where if I write the wrong thing, I'm coming home mute and blind and to die in 10 minutes. No. Who goes to North Korea? Why? There's not even a beach. Generally, the guides did a great job of making me feel safe. There were a couple moments when I thought, this is bizarre. Now, groups that can arrange curiosity tourism visits to North Korea said that the cultural exchange, however restricted and tightly controlled, benefits everyday residents of the despotic regime who have little to no knowledge of the world outside their borders. The North Koreans get a chance to engage with foreigners, closely monitored, and they can't say anything, and this allows them to come up with new ideas. What? The foreigners are told not to have a new idea. This is going to work out well. We are not going to end up with, a bunch of hostages in North Korea because someone mouthed off about South Park. Of course not. No one is ever going to bring up Team America World Police, which I would do, which is why, again, I leave my behind in my house where I know I have offended many people from North Korea, with that being my favorite movie. But if you are adventurous and you want to go to a place where one wrong word can mean that you are never seen again, then I say get your passport ready for North Korea. Don't say anything about the rockets. Like, none. Possibly don't say anything at all. Anyway, this is the news. This is what I'm telling you. Don't go to North Korea. I thought that was kind of a common sense thing that I wouldn't have to say, but here we go. Please don't go to North Korea. It's a bad idea, okay?